Greg Cody is in place and his microphone isn't anywhere near his face, but he's
solved.
Practically ready to go. It's exciting to see Homer Cody on a day like today. I don't know how he feels about yesterday's Dolphins victory. I call him Homer Cody, but I got Zaslow here in a jersey, and I got Billy wearing nothing but a well, I shouldn't say nothing but a mustache, but the only part of his costume that I see is a mustache. What are you supposed to be? Because all you look like is Billy with a mustache.
Well, this is me going above and beyond because I lost 2 weeks ago, and I selected the punishment that was labeled the Ted Lasso. And the Ted Lasso was not dress up as Ted Lasso. It was just be positive for an entire show. And I said, okay, I can do that. I don't have to wear a costume. Like, well, you know, if you want to wear a mustache and go above and beyond, that would be great. And I said, you know what? I want to go above and beyond. So this is me going above and beyond.
This doesn't look like above and beyond to me. This looks like...
This is 2 punishment payoffs, I've been told.
Yeah, it is. Good job, Bill.
What do you mean it is? It's
on top of the 3 trees I planted instead of 1, I'm like now +3 or +4, I think, in terms of punishment payoffs.
Greg, he doesn't look anything like Ted Lasso. That's not a Ted Lasso.
I don't have to.
punishment.
I just have to be positive.
Well, first of all, I'm impressed that I've seen you in about a week. In 1 week, he was able to grow that mustache. It's fantastic. And I thought it was Paul Skeens from the Pirates when I first saw him.
Thanks, Greg.
Good reference.
Good baseball talk. You took the first pitcher to have an ERA under 2 in I don't know how many years with that many starts. I can't believe that you made a baseball reference and furthermore a Pittsburgh Pirates reference.
I mean, the playoffs are here. Let's go, America's pastime. Woo!
You don't sound great. Very positive. So so Billy, your job today is just to be relentlessly positive. Jeremy, you're overseeing the punishments.
He's doing a great job.
Yeah, I don't think he's doing a great job.
Are they happening, Dan? Did they happen at all last year?
Well,
Are they happening?
Well, I don't think that Billy is actually doing a punishment
Well,
here.
you said you were hiring Udonis Haslam as an enforcer, and until I have that, I'm just trying to get punishments off the ground.
Dan, you don't think Billy having to be positive for an entire show is a punishment?
Yeah, that's a giant punishment.
Yeah, that's tough.
Wait till we get into FSU week.
It is.
I'd love to see how he spins that.
It is.
What a game, huh?
It is.
They tried their best. The college game day almost came. They tried their mightiest there. But, man, Virginia, what a team, huh?
It is a punishment for him to have to be positive. It just doesn't look like Ted Lasso. And I don't understand how it is that he got away with not doing a costume and is saying to my face that he's serving 4 punishments by just pasting a mustache to his face.
How does this work? If he says like a single negative thing, does he have to redo it a different day?
Yeah, you've got to do it correctly.
Let's keep an ear out.
Let's keep an eye out and an ear. Yes, just an ear and a single eye out on Billy, and make sure to keep an eye on him on this because he will gravitate toward negative, even though he's usually a little more positive when Cody's in. Do you have a back in my day, Greg?
Back in my day? That's funny. No, I don't, as a matter of fact.
Why is it funny?
I wrote the book. I wrote the book on back in my day.
So you have just officially quit doing these?
Unofficially, I would call it. Yeah, not officially. There's been no statement from my team.
Zaslow, what are you shaking your head no about?
It's just once a week, man. Why can't you write it? I enjoy it. It's one of the things. It's one of the few things you do that I enjoy.
Wow. What a left-handed compliment.
Fantasy team from falling off the track. Football is back, Jack. Whether on the ground or through the air, when the chips are down and you throw a prayer, when your team is primed and on the hunt, it's 4th and 10, you refuse to punt. When the shoulder pads and helmets crack, that's how you know that football is back, Jack. Let me hear you say, football is back, Jack. This high is wild and out of control. And we're gonna ride it every week till we reach the Super Bowl. Don't need no check downs. Give me big hits and quarterbacks. If you say this game's the best, I'll say it's a gag. Football is back, Jack. Football is back, Jack. Football is back. Football is back, Jack.
I'd like Homer Greg Cody's thoughts on that game last night. 3 terrible teams played last night and 1 decent one played last night. I believe the Broncos and Chargers have closed a good deal of the gap with the Chiefs. But what were your thoughts, Greg Cody? Homer Greg Cody, you thought the Dolphins this year were going to get to 8 wins. They
8 or 9, actually. 9.
They have a lot of games against bad teams, but they themselves are a bad team, and they played a terrible one last night. They played a terrible game. The Jets team is awful.
Yeah. Just terrible.
Easily worst team in the league. I thought it was the Dolphins. Jets are easily the worst team in the league.
They played one of the worst games I've seen anyone play this season when you consider a defense that I think is historically bad in the Dolphins caused 3 turnovers when they hadn't caused any turnovers all season. And what they have, 14 or 15 penalties? Like, this is a Jets team. I remind you, the Jets did something this offseason or during training camp I've never seen. On a Sunday they had off. Without the coaches, they went and they had a practice with no coaches where it was just the players. Can you imagine how many penalties and turnovers they would have had if not for that practice? Because they looked like an amateur outfit last night.
They had over 100 yards in penalties.
Oh, it was terrible. Yeah, they're in tank mode now. Aaron Glenn had no cause to dance along the sideline last night because it was a terrible performance. They handed Miami the victory. Overriding everything, of course, is Tyreek Hill's injury. In the post-game press conference, they were all talking about that injury. Mike McDaniel was 5 minutes into his press conference before he was even asked, hey, how about that win? Huh? Because the win didn't matter. It was a Pyrrhic victory. And I think that it's emblematic of the season that they finally win a game and they can't really celebrate because Hill just had a gruesome, very likely season-ending injury. So, they have Carolina next. They can be 2-3. For what that's worth.
You're doing that already?
Yeah.
You're counting wins?
I am, but
You trust them to win a road game?
I don't trust them. I think I think they're capable of it.
Well, of course. I mean,
Okay, I don't think they are.
I wouldn't say that for a lot of road games.
I don't think they are because I believe that first drive of the Jets is what every competent team is going to gut them running the ball like that.
Yeah, their defense was just terrible. They were lucky to win. They were lucky to play the Jets. They were lucky to be gifted 3 turnovers. It was not a great victory. When you get 3 turnovers at home and don't turn the ball over at all, and the last couple of minutes of the game is tense because the other team's only behind by 6, that's not a good victory.
It was weird where it was the middle of the second quarter, and it felt like the Jets were doing whatever they wanted offensively. They were running the ball all over the Dolphins. And then you look at the score. How are they only 3 points?
Yeah.
They were doing whatever they want. It's like, all right, I guess it's okay.
It was 10-3 at the half, which stunned me. Also stunning me is that pot-bellied Nick Folk is still in the league and kicking field goals longer than he ever has during that game. That's a career long for Nick Folk, and Nick Folk has been kicking since the 1800s. For him to have a 58-yard field goal in that game, the Jets fumble at the goal line. The Jets give the Dolphins the ball immediately as they start the second half on the kickoff. Like it was just unbelievable to watch how bad the Jets were.
I was texting a friend updates of the game because he was out, and so he wanted me to send him updates. And every update was Jets fumble, Dolphins recover. Jets get sacked. Dolphins recover. He must have thought I was messing with him, that they weren't real updates.
What year are you and your friend living in that he can't update himself?
You know what? I didn't bother. I thought there's hey, I'm out doing this. Can you send me updates? And of course I'm going to do it because he's my friend, but it's the same amount of time it takes you to pick up your phone and look at the text message, you could just open up the ESPN app and see the score of the game.
It's weird. Does your friend not have internet? Why does he need updates personally from you that sound like Roy's Twitter account?
But he's my friend, so I'm gonna do the thing he's asking.
Yeah, I think the focus here is Zaz is just a really good friend.
I know, but the friend is like really backward. I'm surprised your friend didn't say, "Could you write me a letter and let me know how the Dolphins are doing?"
And send it with a bird. So have a bird carry it to where it is that I am. But let's talk about this injury here for a second, because I thought Tyreek Hill's reaction was at the very least unusual, where he's leaving the field and he's smiling. And it seems like a forced smile. He's blowing kisses. He's on a cart. If you want to put up the photo, I warn you guys, it's gruesome.
Like, put it up right as the warning was coming.
When,
All right.
when I saw Tyreek Hill on the sideline, he was motionless on the sideline. And when I saw his leg going in the wrong direction, it was fairly immediate that you can doctor diagnose. You said might be out for the season. No, he's absolutely out for the season, and that's the end of his Dolphins career. Like that also obviously ends his trade value as well. The Tyreek Hill era is over in Miami, and what they got out of it was an exciting season and a half of offense and no playoff wins.
Right. Yeah, I don't think that's a stretch to say that his season is over. Given his age, given his reliance on speed, it was a gruesome injury, not just the dislocated kneecap, but an ACL, ligament damage. We don't know yet whether there's nerve damage, which would be really, really bad as well. But, yeah, I mean, I feel bad for Tyreek. He was having a very good game. He was showing signs of having a better season than last year. And it's terrible. I feel bad. That was the spirit in Tyreek, though. I don't think that was a fake smile. I think that was him. You know, the first thing he said to Mike McDaniel on the sideline before he was hospitalized was, make sure our guys win this. You know, he was thinking of the team. I think he went out on a high note for such a gruesome injury.
It was a really gruesome injury. It was really disturbing. Right, Billy?
I mean, I think what it really showed us was his true character and spirit on the field. You know, not necessarily on the field. Man, what a leader. Did you see that?
Yes.
He didn't want to come out.
Punching players in the face before the game, including Tua.
Let's play the sound of Tua here, who had his cliches ready until he realized halfway through the cliche that that Tyreek Hill was injured, and injured in a way that would echo throughout their postgame, because if you had any hope for the Dolphins season, it dies there. What they got from Darren Waller last night is not something they'll be able to get very much more without Tyreek Hill as a threat. That offense is going to be neutered no matter how many tackles Achane breaks, and Achane's been great this year, running very hard for them.
Can I just add really quick before you show that? Like, I understand what you're saying, that you're not going to be able to get this out of Waller anymore because, you know, you don't have Tyreek Hill anymore. They paid Jalen Waddle to be a top guy. Like, okay, so I'm not trying to minimize Tyreek Hill's absence here going forward, but Jalen Waddle is supposed to be a top guy. They pay him to be a top guy, and they literally drafted him in a spot to be a top guy.
I could not agree with Zaz more. He has the ability to be a WR1. He has the speed. He's not Tyreek fast, but Jalen Waddle's a very fast receiver. He's above average speed. He should be able to be the guy now who stretches the field and opens it up for the tight end.
I think his role doesn't change. I think you're going to see Malik Washington step more into the tight end.
Why did you call him WR1? Why did you do that?
You know, I'm an NFL insider. You know, that's the lingo. That's the lingo we use.
Is it quicker just to say wide receiver?
I think Waller could get 27 yards again in a game.
2 touchdowns? You think he's going to be a 2-touchdown game?
I think he get 27 yards again in a game.
Let's play the number for him yesterday was 11.5 yards over under in the game. That's how little the expectations were for him. Zaslow crushed Waller, and Waller's going to be on the show with us at some point today because that was a really nice return for Darren Waller. It's a nice story as well. He's holding the ball on the onside kick at the end after scoring 2 touchdowns. But let's play the sound of Tua when he went to some of his go-to cliches and he realized in the middle of it, and we've got a pretty major injury.
All glory belongs to God. My Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Just want to thank him for this victory for us, keeping us safe for the most part.
For the most part, doing a lot of work there.
Like, when would he have not included like he said, okay, for the most part. Would he have left for the most part out if someone died? Would that have been
There are only 2 injuries last night that the Dolphins could have suffered that would have felt quite like that, and they got one of them that felt like that, and I thought they were going to get the second when Tua's sliding and they're going after his head and getting an unsportsmanlike penalty for going after his head.
Yeah, he sold that. That was Kiko Mawanoa, though.
Yeah.
Former Kane.
Tua came up smiling, which was good.
Keeping us safe for the most part.
Guy's career might be over.
I mean, his Dolphin career is over.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
Most of the guys did leave the game healthy.
Yeah, I do think that. It was all right. I don't want to be. I'll be that guy, I guess, briefly. It was a very strange reaction to it.
I'm with you, man. I thought his reaction was a little bit disturbing.
I saw a guy who's got some odd thoughts going on in his head and felt, oh my gosh, people like me for this moment. I feel like that's what I saw. I saw a guy of like, oh my God, you actually, thank you so much. Like I want so badly to be loved.
I mean,
That's what I saw.
there are certain people that undergo traumatic experiences, and their first reaction is to laugh. Like that is their emotion. But I don't know. It was weird. It was like Antonio Brown vibes.
I have to agree that he was laughing instead of crying, because he knew more than anybody, this isn't just a bad injury. This is I'm out for the season. This is probably the end of my career. I don't think that's over-exaggerating to say that. I don't criticize him for not weeping.
I don't think we're criticizing. We're more just like
we're acknowledging that it was bizarre.
It was just a little bizarre.
Okay, I thought it was fairly normal, and the psychology you alluded to is accurate. Sometimes you smile instead of crying. You don't want to show your real emotion, so you have a forced smile.
Greg, when you say that reaction is normal, I've never seen it from someone on a cart, blowing kisses to the crowd, waving and smiling.
He was fist pumping.
It's legitimately something I've never seen from a guy being. Look at how Neighbors left the field.
It's usually towel over the head. It seems like they're crying.
Sure. Yeah, I know that he was devastated inside. He's trying to put on the best face possible for his team. I really believe that. He doesn't always come off like a team player and a leader. That's an understatement. But I think in the matter of last night and the way he went off that field, I think that was leadership.
I got a text from a friend of mine that says, with so many dangerously dumb things happening, where do you rank Tua refusing to wear the extra protective head wrap over his helmet? I have it at 27th dumbest thing, right after having TV commercials for prescription drugs and before the Meta glasses. Tua should be that is strictly aesthetics, right? That is Shaq refused to shoot free throws underhanded, even if he could shoot them 90%, because he says I'm not doing that. That's only aesthetics. That is the reason that Tua won't wear extra protective on his head. Correct?
I recall Chris Nowinski, who once alleged
sitting around waiting for head injuries. Nowinski
potential manslaughter, saying that it would actually work against what's wrong with Tua because it would make the helmet a little heavier.
Yeah.
Am I the only one that questions? I don't think Shaq would have shot 90% if he shot underhand.
No, that's crazy.
He made them all in practice.
I'm just saying that even if he shot 90%, he said he would not do it. Even if I guaranteed him 90%, he said he would not do it underhanded because he would not be seen in public shooting free throws at that size.
A guarantee of 90%, you should definitely do it.
Right. The science on these helmets still needs to get a little bit better.
Oh
they look goofy. I mean,
They
Dobbs
look
is out there
terrible.
having 3 touchdowns, and I'm just thinking on my couch, I'm like, this guy's not good.
They look like clown helmets. They look like those exaggerated caps that people wear that are like this big.
It's a bizarre
ridiculous.
Look. It's a bizarre look. I can totally understand why someone like aesthetically, I just can't do it because the science needs to come a little further. And also, if you have a helmet that has like flints in it, it just looks bad.
Do you think that? Because there was a receiver wearing it last night, I think I saw, right?
Yeah, I mean, Dobbs had caught 3 touchdowns in him.
Do you think the other players in the locker, do they make fun of that guy, the other guys in the locker room?
I mean, it's a weird thing to make fun
stupid.
of. I mean, it doesn't look right. It looks weird.
Okay, and you guys are funny doing this particular thing where you're like, where you're saying out loud, you're saying, well, if it does help you, you have to do it. And I, yesterday, had the conversation with you guys talking about the fact that Wake Forest went for 2 to win the game against Georgia Tech. Wake Forest, by the way. Wake Forest at home is going for the win in a tie game with a 2-point conversion. And we talked about Tom Osborne, who had the choice between winning or tying the game against Miami and getting the championship, or going for 2 and not getting the championship.
Balls move.
And you all argued You all argued that given the choice between winning a game or winning a championship, you're going for winning the game.
I think he was right.
Okay, but think about what you're saying. In what other instance would you say that I'd rather win just one game and not the championship? I'm choosing my choice is I can either win a game or get the championship if I just kick the extra point.
No, but winning the game wins you the championship. You're leaving that part out.
If you lose the game, do you win the championship? I'm confused by this scenario. It's a great question. I'm just a little confused.
Nebraska went for 2 and lost the championship, and if they'd gone for the tie, they would have won the championship. And you guys chose the game. You guys are continuing to say that was the right decision.
No, because I want both. I want the game and the championship.
Okay, but your choice was you can either tie the game and win the championship, or you risk losing the championship, and they lost the championship. And you're saying that's the right decision when you wouldn't make that argument in any other circumstance if I gave you the choice between what's more important, winning a game or winning the championship.
I think that's a good call by Tom Osborne. I don't think history has second-guessed that. Certainly Kenny Calhoun thought it was a good call because his fingertip lives in glory.
Tying a game to win a championship doesn't feel like winning a championship, unless you're the Cowboys because they won that tie.
You say history looks favorably on Osborne. He lost the championship. What history would look favorably on is Nebraska would forever have had the championship.
Yeah, right. That's true, but he gets credit for, having, big
balls.
Yeah, big footballs. He gets credit for that.
Balls move.
Yeah, I mean, he could have kicked an extra point, tied the game, and then lost an OT. And then what?
I don't think they had OT back then. I think it was a tie.
Correct.
Oh, not in the championship.
No, they didn't have OT.
Well, it wasn't a championship game.
It would have been a tie.
It was a bowl game.
Yeah, that's back when they
That's
didn't
true.
actually
That's
have
true.
championships and voters just decided.
Well, that's a bad call by college football. Got to get that right retroactively.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I enjoyed talking about 1984
I know.
as both of
You
our.
started it.
That
was a real roundabout way to really dig into how goofy these Guardian caps look.
I know. They look terrible. I wouldn't wear one. They look like a cartoon. They look like somebody in a cartoon. Elmer Fudd would be wearing a helmet that big just so other cartoon characters could laugh at him. The technology I predict that in a year, like next season, they're gonna get that right, and they're gonna have extra protective helmets that don't look like ridiculous extra protective helmets.
Well, why wouldn't they have that now then if they could do that?
Well, that's a good question. I'm not a scientist.
Oh, okay, good. Thanks for clearing that up.
Yeah. People mistake me for one, but I'm not, and I don't blame Tua for not wearing one. There are so many other ways to avoid concussions. Okay, you dump the ball, you intentional ground it, you run out of bounds. There's a million different ways not to get a concussion, in my opinion.
You guys are really out here arguing you got to look good instead of brain safety. And furthermore, you're going, don't trust the science, even though, and that's fair to say we're in the early part of the science, and it's a violent game, and I don't know what actually protects you from concussions, but what they have out there is helmets that, while they don't look good, are being worn because they add additional brain safety. Mm-hmm. And you guys are saying, no, I'd rather look good.
Well, I mean, it's not us saying it. The players are saying it. But also, like, the players, when you've asked them about it, a lot of them say it weighs more. It throws off my balance slightly. And even if it's just a millisecond, like, that's the difference between, like, for a running back, a gap closing, and then you can't break a big play. So they've chosen not to do so.
Which is what Chris Nowinski, who I think we can all admit knows more about this than any of us, said in Tua's case it doesn't necessarily help. I have seen prototypes of these Guardian caps that do look a little bit more streamlined, and I imagine they're still in the testing phase, and I do think the science will come a long way. Like, we had leather helmets at one point. I imagine that's how science usually goes. But right now it looks goofy. It looks like it slows you down. It does add additional weight and stress to the neck, and there are also other ways. There's also experimental ways. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Dalton Schultz, but they have those woodpecker collars that also protect against concussions. Aesthetically, there are different options for players.
Yeah, and helmets used to be made out of turtle shells. In the case of a quarterback especially, you need to feel comfortable back there. You can't have the feeling of a giant helmet sloshing around on your head. You need that economy of movement up there. and the lightness of the helmet, not extra weight.
And to Billy's point, the players are choosing this. I understand Dan wants to have this discussion and make us all the bad guys and project on us. No quarterback has ever chosen to wear this. It's on them. It's their decision. It ain't mine.
Right. And by the way, Tua looked really good last night.
I don't trust football players on choosing safety.
Well, you're trusting yourself to choose their body over them choosing their body.
Like that, you could feel passionately about it. It's not my choice. They're speaking for themselves. None of them are choosing.
Achane also last year wore it for a little bit after he had concussion because his mom told him to wear it, and he doesn't seem to be, unless I'm misremembering, he doesn't seem to be wearing it this year. So at some point, he just decided not to wear it anymore.
I simply find interesting that you guys are choosing aesthetics over brain safety. And
it's not me. It's not me. Mike, stop putting it on me. I am not choosing. The players are choosing.
It's not simply aesthetics, though. They've said, and they have chosen in trying to wear it. Like we spoke to Austin Eckler last year, who said it's just heavier and it throws my game off.
Yeah, you're doing a straw man right now. The NFL has decided pretty overwhelmingly that anybody wearing that cap is an outlier at this point.
Straw man.
My point is simply that if I'm thinking first of safety, the people I'm going to least consult are people who have chosen a career in football as what they want to do with their life and their body.
Right.
I'm trusting them less than I am the average human being.
Okay, so no longer an ally of pro-choice here. Body autonomy, it seems.
I mean, based on your logic, why don't we require every football player to wear a giant funny helmet?
Okay,
Greg, have you seen the the prototypes? I don't know if you've looked into it because you look great. You're a slightly advanced age, but with that comes experience and knowledge.
Sure.
So I don't know if you've looked into it. Have you seen? There's like a product that's catered towards the elderly folk. Not that you're one of them, but maybe as you're getting closer to that, where it's if someone falls, their clothes kind of turn into like an airbag, and then all of a sudden, it just opens up right before they hit the ground.
You should wear that.
And then that stops them from falling and hurting themselves. I wonder if maybe players that are susceptible to concussions have considered having the airbag closed where when they get hit, the airbag goes off and their head never hits the ground.
He falls down and he's looking like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yes, that's an excellent idea. It really is. In addition to the Stay Puft Marshmallow guy, is it Goodyear?
Michelin
that has the big tire-shaped guy. Yeah, that's what football players need. They should all dress like the Michelin Man so that there's no real contact. When you tackle the guy, he just literally bounces off you and hopes he bounces in the right direction. That's what football is becoming under Le Batard's regime.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Were football helmets indeed once made out of turtle shells? Because I don't think you have it accurate. I know that Mike Ryan said leather helmets. I thought that was going back far enough.
Look it up.
Jeremy, would you do me the favor? I'm busy doing a show.
I've been
right
trying
now.
to.
Yeah.
I can't find any proof, but I also can't find anything outside of artificial intelligence telling me that it's not the case. So I'm going to try to find something detailing the fact that it's a myth.
Yeah, let's believe artificial intelligence, which has a little line under everything saying, this may contain inaccuracies. And when I say turtle shell, if I'm being legit, I may have misspoken. I think it might have been tortoise shells, small tortoise shells, because turtles tend to be very small. Some turtles are like this.
Hey, if you end up being right, no one's going to hold that against you.
What are the differences between turtles and tortoises?
Tortoises tend to be bigger. Tortoises tend to be, that size, like helmet size. Because when you're wearing a shell, a living shell, formerly living shell, on your head, it needs to be a certain size. If you put a turtle shell on your head, it might look more like a yarmulke or something, So you have to be careful.
Jeremy just told me that the differences between turtles and tortoises is that turtles live in the water and tortoises live on land. So it's not a size thing.
Well, it is a size thing as well, of course.
Well, but it's not, of course, according to Jeremy, who's looking it up because you said, like Stugotz does with his move of look it up, and then you're wrong, and someone looks it up.
Yeah.
We've had Ron McGill on this show for 15 years. Yeah. Tortoises, generally, larger than turtles.
So that's not why they're a difference.
Well, it's because they're
the size
underwater,
is part
so
of it.
I understand.
Bigger.
Just like offensive linemen are bigger than quarterbacks,
Yes.
this is what we're talking about
There's
here.
actually a species called the giant tortoise. I mean, why are we arguing? Get
I
McGill on the
don't understand. Dan's assault on science today is just really confounding.
I mean, tortoises are bigger than turtles. Does that mean that there's a tortoise living who's smaller than the biggest turtle?
You
Of
said
course.
helmets were made out of turtle shells. Then you
Yes.
change it to tortoise shells. Neither one of them is right, and none of the information you've given so far is right, except that the Jets stink and that you
Yes.
shouldn't be too happy about that victory if you're a Dolphin fan, because the injury that happened there is the injury that you cannot have. There are only two the Dolphins cannot abide. Are you with me on the fact that I believe that this defense is historically bad?
It was terrible last night against a bad offense. The Jets ran all over. Other than, this is ridiculous to say, but other than that 43-yard touchdown run, they contained Justin Fields pretty well. He didn't have a great night passing, but they were just unstoppable on the run. I think the Jets ran for 200 yards. Yeah, it's a really, really bad defense, and they have to score 27-plus points to have a shot.
He threw for 50 more yards than Tua, Justin Fields.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Dan, you're forecasting, right? Because they are not yet the worst defense in the league. I think you have to be the worst defense in the league to then stake claim to historically bad. Like from counting stats to DVOA, they are not bottom. I think in DVOA they are like fifth from bottom.
They're actually getting better. They gave up 33 points,
Guys,
31,
so you can
21.
Yeah.
I just want to be clear. Like you're making a prediction. You think it's the bottom's going to fall off?
Well, it's not just the bottom's going to fall off. It's that they allowed 19 straight drives without making a stop. They've only played outside of the Bills' bad offenses. And the next step that I'm taking on this is that when I'm watching what it is that they are doing defensively, being gutted and allowing these 9 yards a carry on defense, and they're hurt on top of that. I'm watching a team that I don't have any confidence in, and I'd go a step further on this. I didn't think when they're up 3-0 and it's 4th and goal from the 5, I don't think that they're going for it because Mike McDaniel is ballsy. It's because he knows his defense is bad. And 6-0 doesn't help you because he knows they're going to go right down the field because they can't actually stop people.
I mean, that could be true, but going back 3 years ago, in Mike McDaniel's first and second year as coach, and the defense was fine, like, he was going for that 4th and 5.
Why didn't he that
Fourth
first
goal.
drive, though?
Yeah,
He's just
he
like, I
could've.
need points out of this. I can't have the booze if we don't get it here.
Yeah,
Because he
that was
did take
terrible.
it that first drive. He's just like, I'll take the points.
Zaz, 4th and goal from the 5 is still in that league with everyone, including Dan Campbell. It's still kicked. I thought that's a reaction to, I know how that first drive just went for the Jets. I know they drove right down the field. I know they kept just handing the ball off. Why would he trust his defense? It's not just bad, it's also injured.
You know what? Like, you made a good case, probably right there, and it's a little bit pathetic that early in the game the Dolphins are then saying we have to get touchdowns to beat the Jets.
Look, there is nothing that suggests that Turtle Shell was the NFL helmet. I've gone through a slideshow here on NFL.com of every single helmet from the beginning of the NFL all the way through today. There was fiber shell technology, which is what's used in like bicycle helmets these days, but nothing suggesting that. Greg, what you might be thinking of is that they referred to the sort of cap/helmet that was worn by the British soldiers in World War II as turtle shell helmets. So you might just be getting those two things confused.
You know, anytime we refer to something that goes back 100, 120 years, it's difficult to get an exact read on it. There are no witnesses who wore a turtle shell helmet in the NFL, so, you know, yin and yang, you know.
Yep.
He said, she said.
It's hard, really, I think, a month into the season with the sample to tell exactly what the Dolphins' defense is. But just for added context, they played the Patriots, who are exactly middle of the pack in offense. Now, they could be middle of the pack because one of their games came against the Dolphins. The Jets is the worst defense.
Patriots also scored, 42 this past weekend, I think, right?
They look good. I know they were playing Carolina, which is a weird team. The Jets are easily the worst offense they've played so far. But the other half of their games, two of the top 3 offenses in the league in Indianapolis and Buffalo.
Yeah, I agree with that take. And I think it's also fair to say, although they were gifted the win last night against a bad team, I do see progress from game 1 to game 2 to game 3 to last night. They had Tua look good, Achane look good. They had a 96-yard drive. They had their best drive of the season.
I believe by the end of this season, this will be the Dolphin defense, the worst we've ever seen by the end of the season.
Okay.
Yeah, crystal clear on that. I do think that you go out and get a Minkah Fitzpatrick to mitigate some of your deficiencies on defense.
I recovered that fumble.
Yeah, because that's how you do it with turnovers. You can have a defense that's bend, that even breaks occasionally, but if they make an impact play on defense and get the ball back, those are huge ways to mitigate some of your deficiencies.
Let me explain what happened this weekend with the Giants, for example, a limited offense that lost their best receiver. The Giants had, I think it was 40 runs and 20 passes to protect their quarterback and to trust their defense. They kept the ball away from Justin Herbert. The reason that I have fear about the Dolphins is because through a month in this season, I have never seen a Dolphin defense that you can just hand the ball to the running back and it's going to be 2nd and 1 every time. And what happened to the Jets last night is they kept getting into 2nd and 15 and 2nd and 20 because they had all these pre-snap penalties that made it so that they couldn't run the ball anymore. They had to stop running the ball. And Justin Fields made an impressive play on 4th and 1. That was actually stopped. What was called was stopped. But what you witnessed last night was one team was really poorly coached and the other one played a disciplined style of football. And on the road, a terrible Jets team that had not won a game, had 3 turnovers, had whatever it was, 14 or 15 penalties, and is still playing on the road at the end for the game as an 0-3 team. And they had to abandon the run. And if they had not had to abandon the run because their running back fumbled at the goal line with their first drive, I feel like that game would have ended up looking like the Colts game looked, where you're just never getting a punt because they can just keep handing the ball off 7 yards at a time. Because they're also hurt. It's not just that they're bad, that their corners are bad, that they don't get much pass rush. They're also hurt.
I'll tell you, the Jets were terrible last night. So much pre-snap penalties. The fumbling is stupid. A fair catch at the 2-yard line.
Yeah,
I mean, what are we doing? Like, what's happening there? But I'll tell you, the reaction that the coach is getting, Aaron Glenn, after just 4 games, I understand it's a bad team and they certainly look poorly coached. I'm a little bit surprised at how aggressive the reaction to Aaron Glenn taking over a bad Jets team and what they're saying about what this team looks like and the new coach just 4 games. I've been a little bit surprised.
I read an ESPN.com piece about Aaron Glenn saying he's going to pay back Dan Marino. And because Aaron Glenn was the corner on the spike play. And after the spike play, I think the Jets ended up losing like 33 of 36 games or something ridiculous. And last night, what you watched is the most poorly coached game that I have seen this season from anybody. And that's why the Dolphins won the game, because the Jets gifted it to them.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know if you can blame coaching for 3 lost fumbles. Maybe you can, but that was the reason for the loss. But the Dolphins had to recover those as well. To Mike's earlier point, for what this is worth, and it's not definitive, but there are 6 teams in the NFL giving up more points and more defensive yards than the Dolphins. So when you say they're historically bad, that has not shown itself yet.
He's forecasting, which could be the case. Look, this season, I don't have much hope despite the victory, and they just lost their best offensive weapon. It can go off the rails, but I do think Dan has to be clear that he's forecasting because the stats don't back it up just yet. There are way worse defenses in the league.
Give them time. I believe they will be worse than the defense that was 1-15 because of how they're getting gutted straight up the middle. Just straight up the middle. Yeah, I've never seen it. Through a month in the season, I've never seen a Dolphin defense that can be run on that way. And if they can be run on that way, then a team like the Giants can do something like hand the ball off 40 times to protect their quarterback and keep him just throwing the ball 20 times.
Are we hearing Kenneth Grant's name called at all? Like, I get it. He's a rookie defensive tackle. It's a really difficult position. But
I don't know that fool.
Should we be hearing it? That's my gimmick. Should we be hearing his name at all? He was a first-round pick.
Yeah, you'd think so. Because he supposedly had a good training camp. I mean,
he was awesome.
They were raving about him.
He was awesome in school. Yeah. I don't know. We don't see him.
They were raving about the whole front 7.
Yes, right. And look, the front 7 has a lot of good pieces. You know,
go ahead. I'm waiting.
Jalen Phillips, Zach Seiler, Bradley.
Zach Seiler is a good piece.
Whatever. Seiler.
Whatever. He's been here for a long time.
He said
now.
she should.
But it's such a weird
Yin-yang.
pronunciation. It should be Seiler. It should be
I
Sealer.
like
It is Sealer.
I like Jalen Phillips. I like him as a story. Jalen Phillips is the king of almost. He gets close a lot.
He's been getting close. But pressuring a quarterback, even if you don't get all the way home, that does impact the game big time. Like he's still making contributions. He looked bad to start the season. I do think he's come on lately, which is hopeful considering the injury that he's had and he's recovering from.
Did you like the Dolphin jerseys, the uniforms? Did you?
That's part of why I'm wearing this right now. I'm showing you what a real jersey looks like.
I think it looked better in game action.
Oh, okay, hold on. Let me clarify. The jerseys look great. They're just not Dolphins jerseys.
No.
That's all.
No.
They're not Dolphins colors. They don't. Who am I watching? That's not the Dolphins. The jerseys are really, really good looking. I don't have a problem with what the jerseys look like. They're just not Dolphins jerseys.
Right. It did not look like the Miami Dolphins last night, which is a good thing because what we've seen of the way the Miami Dolphins look is not something that you want repeated.
This is what a Dolphins jersey. You want to know what a Dolphins jersey looks like? Zoom in on me.
Right.
This is what it looks like.
That's the original throwback.
That's
right
what it
there.
looks like right here.
No, it's not
This.
the original throwback.
This is a
90s.
Dolphin. This right here. This is a Dolphins jersey. This one. It's a Hall of Famer. Zach Thomas. Should have been in a lot sooner than he got in, but that's neither here nor there.
Where is it then?
It's where it's supposed to be.
Started looking at playoff scenarios for the Dolphins today, tiebreakers and such. Yeah, because they're tied with the Ravens right now. I don't know if you know. However, the Ravens win the tiebreaker over Miami based on best win percentage in conference games.
That's early.
Yep.
The Texans also win the tiebreaker over Miami and Baltimore based on best win percentages in conference games. And right now, the Raiders win the tiebreaker over Houston based on strength of victory.
Just one game back of the Chiefs, though.
Yeah.
Coming up on today's Alley Oop, we discuss Cheryl Reeve getting her behind tossed out and escorted outside of the Phoenix Mercury Arena faster than my sister Trista was escorted out of Penn State Arena this weekend. What do you have to say for yourself?
Turns out you're not supposed to storm the field as a solo fan when your team wins on the road. But I'm still on the run, Juju. They'll never take me alive.
Go Ducks. All that and more today on the Alley Oop at DLS Hoops. Lock in.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
She's the senior NFL insider for The Athletic and the host of the Scoop City podcast. She is fresh off celebrating her anniversary on Friday, and it makes me wonder immediately, how is it and why is it that you got married during the NFL season?
It is the most common question we get. So first of all, I apologize for the voice today. I lost it on Friday. I guess that was my anniversary present to my husband. I was not able to talk. So he was he was thrilled. He was happy all day. So we got married during COVID, and we had got engaged in May, and we were planning a very big wedding in the off season, and we were actually attending a baptism for my nephew, and my grandparents were running late, and so the priest was tap dancing a little bit to kill time. And so I was sitting in the front row, and he said, and what about you, young lady? Like, what are you doing with your life, essentially? And I said, oh, I'm actually recently engaged. My husband, this is my fiance. We're getting married next year. And this was, again, during COVID, where everyone thought the world was coming to an end. And he put me on the spot, and he's like, why are you waiting? And we're like, well, we want to have a wedding, Well, why? If you love each other, you should just do it now. And we're like, well, we're not going to do it now because it's Luke's baptism, but okay, maybe. And then just on the drive home, Kevin and I were like, maybe he's right. Like, forget the wedding. Like, so we canceled our wedding and we got married a month later. And we did it on a Saturday during the season, and I went back to work the next day.
So you were bullied? You were bullied by God?
A priest?
Yeah, a dancing priest.
Who's Polish and doesn't speak very good English, and just like, yeah, he's an interesting fella. I love him though, and I'm grateful though. I'm grateful because we saved thousands of dollars on some, we were getting married. This is just so predictable of me. I wish I was not so obvious of a human, but we were getting married at the same venue Snooki got married. Right. So you could imagine just spot. Like the Italian marble staircase, I probably was going to wear like a jeweled crown. We were going to serve coffee at 4:00 to all the old Italian uncles and aunts. Like, we were doing like all the Italian traditional things and the gaudiness. And I don't even know why we were doing that. And I think at the time we just thought that's what we were supposed to be doing. So yeah, it saved us a lot of money, and we wound up just having a very, very private wedding of just our immediate family. And my mother-in-law, who attended her other son's weddings that were gaudy and big, has shared that our wedding was the best one because it was just very small and intimate. So church has become, that priest has had a lot of influence on us. Let's put it that way.
How close were you to the people who were hosting the baptism? Because you could have saved all of the money by just doing it that day, and they could have hosted your wedding reception also.
It's a great point. It's my sister who's my best friend, so she would not have cared at all. In fact, I think she would have been excited. Kevin and I were nervous. I remember thinking because I think when men propose, that's their wedding day. Like, that's when you guys are all in. It's not really all in for us yet. I think for women, the actual wedding day is the moment. So, Kev was all down for it. I was the one that was very skeptical. I was like, oh, I don't know. And at the time I was working at ESPN, and I remember I was still working. And so the night before my wedding, I'm making calls, and I had a phone interview set up with Jimmy Garoppolo. And I remember Jimmy was great. He made like a funny joke, like, hey, it's the night before your wedding. You sure you want to do this? And I'm thinking, like, of all the people in my life that I'm going to talk to the night before my wedding, the one guy my dad wanted me to, or my mom wanted me to marry was Jimmy Garoppolo. And he's calling me. Like, this is a sign. I of course, did not marry Jimmy Garoppolo. And I think Kevin was happy about that.
Dianna, at what point on your very private wedding day did you put away the phone where it's like, all right, I can't be bothered with any breaking news or anything like that?
Yeah, did not. In fact, I would recommend it. I don't recommend talking to people like in the limo or in the car or wherever you are or in the church, but the best pictures and videos I have are actually the ones that we took with our own phones because it was just us. So I wasn't working. I did get nice text messages from people around football, and I was responding a little bit. But it wasn't like I was sitting out there like, at the time, I don't know, Odell Beckham's not playing tomorrow. Like, I wasn't doing that. But it was COVID. So it was like, you get married, you go back to work. Like, that's kind of what we did. And I think my husband's still pretty bothered by the fact that we never had a real wedding. So,
Dianna, how would you grade the proposal? Was it bended knee? Was it, how was it?
Not great. It was okay. We were down the shore. We're at the Jersey Shore, and again, COVID. So like there was no place to go. He had planned a better one, but the restaurant that he had planned it at was closed because of everything. So we were on the beach, and the only problem with it was my sister and my brother-in-law and my parents knew it was happening. And I threw on just like an ugly shirt, like it was like a blue version of what I'm wearing right now. And I had my hair in a ponytail. Like I looked terrible. And nobody thought like, hey, you're 36 years old. Like, you're old. You should probably, this is a big moment for you. Especially a family that was dying for me to get married. No one gave me the heads up. So Kev did it on the beach, and 1 out of 10, it was just like a 4.5.
Were you expecting it? Like, they said this is a big moment for you. Did you think that it was coming, or was it like a surprise? Because like at 36, I don't think you just walk around always expecting to get proposed to.
No, I did. I walked around waiting. It was like, he would like go in the other room. I'd be like, this is it. This is the moment. He went to get the box. He claims that he was proposing after that Super Bowl in Miami by you guys, and that I came back so tired and exhausted from it all. He canned it. He's like, this isn't the right moment. Like, she's done. Like, she's not in the right place right now. But I don't know. I think he was just buying time. But yeah, I was surprised, but I wasn't, because we were at that point where like it was easy. Like we knew we wanted to be together. It was just a matter of when he could just ask the question.
I have a number of follow-ups, and we'll get to football in a second. Please put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. For men, is the wedding day the day they propose at Le Batard Show? Your bullying priest and your relationship with church and God, how have the kids taken to church?
So you know how it goes. It's like an Olympic sport, trying to get kids out the door on a Sunday morning, especially during football season for me because I'm working. So we cut back on that because my boys are only 14 months apart. So early on here, we didn't do church. Okay, sorry, Mom. We just stopped. So we've decided about, I'd say a little over a month ago, that I will just take my 4-year-old Michael to church to just try to instill like the process, right? Because he doesn't know a homily, a hymn, he can't tell the difference. To just get him used to what church is, and so he knows the rules. You don't talk, you sit quietly, you keep your hands together, and it's God's house, like all the basic stuff, so he can learn. But every Sunday, it is clockwork. The second the priest stands up, and this is usually midway through Mass, to begin the homily. And for those that are not Catholic, the homily is usually essentially the priest's version of that day's Bible's passage. So it's, let's take what the Bible says and apply it to life. And how can I connect to the parishioners here? And that's usually, it's a lesson. And depending on the priest, I think Catholics can agree, sometimes they're all right, sometimes they're boring. most of the time for me, they've been boring. I haven't had great grace. And I guess my son has some sixth sense with it too, because every single time the priest stands up, he walks up, he goes, Mom, I gotta poop. I'm like, hey, guys, we call it the homily dump now because it's just every single time. So I gotta get up and walk out with him. And to the kids' credit, like they've got a speaker in the bathroom so you can still hear the homily. I'm like, kind of get it, Mikey. Like, this isn't great. This isn't
yeah, he's running Mikey's running a scam. So where does it rank? Kevin does a number of things that are annoying. Where does it rank his meal prep for the week? Is it high on the list of annoying things your husband does?
Yeah, it's like Mikey's colon's allergic to homilies, and my stomach is just allergic to anyone who like, okay, so credit to Kevin. He understands that in life, like we need to help each other out. And so he likes to get ahead on meals, right? It's helpful. But Monday mornings, he cooks a full dinner. So it's 5 a.m., I pour my coffee, and Kevin's at the stove making broccoli and chicken and onions and peppers. And I don't know how you guys feel about it, but like I don't want to smell that in the morning.
Yeah, broccoli smells bad. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Would you be disgusted by the smell of broccoli at 5 a.m.?
Yeah, and his point, and he said this to me because I was complaining, because he saw me texting my sister who gets up early too. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. And he's like, you can tell your sister she can eat the cereal that she eats at night because her husband doesn't do this. So my poor brother-in-law gets shrapnel and all this. No one's doing anything over there. They're eating Cheerios, and you eat a nice healthy meal every night because you want to be healthy and stay fit and all that other stuff. So he has a point. I just don't think that's a good way to start our week. Grilling broccoli and chicken. It's not great.
Dianna, the Eagles have won like 20 of 21 games. They're reigning Super Bowl champions, yet you have A.J. Brown sharing Bible verses on social media. People are wondering, is Saquon the same player? That was a nice win in Tampa. I understand the passing stats didn't reflect that, and Tampa climbed back into the game. But for much of that game, that felt like a statement win from the Eagles. And yet the news cycle is talking about everything that's wrong with the reigning Super Bowl champions. I don't understand it. What do you make of it?
Mike, I'm the same way. I know why they're mad. I understand it, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that you've got an all-star team. On paper, this is the best team in football, and they still have not played their best version of it at all. We've seen snippets of it, but it's been very obvious that teams are now defending the run very well, right? Saquon has not been the same. This is also a team that seems to like drama, right? Because we see the A.J. Brown tweets and hey, I'm just going to shrug my shoulders and whatever it is that he said, his messaging essentially be like, yeah, I'm not thrilled with this.
If you're not welcomed, quietly withdrawal was some of the social media messaging.
Yeah, look, he did it last year too, right? Like, this is just what they do. I think they like chaos. And I think they are those people that need the drama to almost stay entertained by it. It's like they're so good and they've got this special team and bond, and they have figured out ways to win every single week, yet they're like, let's just shake it up. I just think they continue to come out really, really strong. But until we see them put it together, look, it's only the end of September, so I predict that it will continue to get better and they'll find themselves. But I think this is just the Philadelphia Eagles needing entertaining.
Are they like the couple that fights a lot just to have great sex?
Absolute. That is what Philly is. They are the couple you hang out with that purposely argue to give their relationship a little bit of excitement.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Are the champion Eagles the couple that fights a lot to have great sex?
Dianna, what did you make of the Jets' performance last night?
Bad. I'm concerned. The penalties. I think we wanted to believe that this would be better because Aaron Glenn came in with a really good reputation. We saw some good stuff he did in Detroit. I'm just going to go back to what people were saying to me in the summer about the Jets and Aaron Glenn specifically, of what he brings to a team so well, which is his play calling. And he's not calling plays in New York. And I'm curious to see if they're going to make that switch, if he's going to get more involved. Because look, to his credit, he's looking at that role as I'm going to be the CEO. It's very, very, very hard to do all these things. We're seeing it all over the league, right? Look in Tennessee, they're taking away play calling. They're trying to make coaches be the guy in charge, not the guy calling all the plays. But if you're taking away your best trait of probably what got you the job, maybe you should go back to doing that thing to help your team out. So, look, they're just not a good team, and they could be the first. Aaron Glenn could be the first coach to go 0-5 in his first year in the history of the New York Jets, which I almost thought wasn't true because that's had to happen, but it hasn't.
I would have assumed with all the terrible coaches there, Kotite had to have been all over this.
I know. I know. You know what do you think Salah's what's Salah thinking right now besides I'll end your life? As he's
I'll end your life.
End your bleeping life.
Dianna,
did you guys are so good on the internet. Did you see a clip of Salah saying that back? Because I couldn't find it. I saw Liam Cohn. I saw him.
Yeah,
I saw him go.
We played it yesterday. We're playing it right now. It wasn't clear, and people were doing some lip reading. But yes, I will end your bleeping life is what we quoted him saying yesterday.
Oh, okay. So you could see Salah saying that.
We're lip reading. I was reading the quotes and then I saw it. I wasn't seeing it and determining it. I was biased because I was reading it first.
Okay. All right. So, what do we make of it?
I mean, I've never heard two coaches do that, and Liam Cohen started with keep my name out of your bleeping mouth, and then Salah escalated it to a place I haven't seen by threatening to murder him.
Yeah, seems extreme.
I mean, I love it. Who are you taking in that one?
Talking this out does make me feel like we should have met that video with a little bit more scrutiny.
I think Salah is the one that I take there. He's got the level of crazy to escalate it to that place.
I think they both have crazy. I mean, first of all, physically, I've been next to both of them. They're both tall. Robert's probably like 6'4". Dude. Liam's like 6'1".
He's a good-looking man.
Salah's like minus 500 here. What are we doing?
Yeah,
this
Liam
is not
Cohen
close.
does not stand a chance.
No.
Just to be clear,
I do not underestimate crazy. And Liam going back, Liam seems like he's got a short fuse here. Robert isn't a fiery, like we've seen him be animated on the sidelines. He can be fired up. He's not an angry human, though. I think you need to have deep-rooted anger to be able to kill someone. Robert he's not like that. Like he's actually.
Dianna, when you're yelling at somebody on the field with live mics around that I will bleeping end your life, you do have that anger inside.
And the other guy is
Duval. Yeah, Liam Cohen would get thrown by the ankles into the stands by Robert Saleh.
Yeah, high nerd quality on that guy. I have to say it. Dianna, the story of the day in the NFL has to be Tyreek Hill's gruesome injury. He's never going to play again, right? Is that your best
I don't
guess?
know why you're doing that.
Ever? You think his career is over? Or do you want to clarify for
He's
the
done it
you think
twice
his
today.
career is
That's
over?
the second
He won't be
time
the
he's
same?
done that.
I think his career might be over. I'm just
Great
curious
question.
what Dianna thinks.
I mean, we saw Alex Smith's leg injury, and he came back from it. I mean, we saw I don't know if you saw the documentary, but
Yeah, but
I mean,
Alex Smith doesn't rely on his speed to get open.
I mean, he plays quarterback. So either way, both positions, you need your legs. It's not like you're going out there and I mean, yeah. Look, I don't know, Greg. Like, I'm not a doctor, but it was gruesome. I think it would be pretty incredible if he came back. But I just think in today's day, like with the science that we have, players are able to do wild things to get back. So I don't think that's it.
When we
I hope it's not it. That'd be horrible.
When we speak of bad football teams, Tennessee's own quarterback, Cam Ward, is putting voice to how bad they are. I want to play two sounds for you. First Cam Ward and then Brian Callahan. Let's start with Cam Ward, please.
They're getting back to that video.
I mean, we keeping a buck right now, we ass. So we 0-4. We have... This one, we got nothing to lose. We dropped a quarter of our games, and we've yet to do anything. So we have to lock in, especially myself. On the offensive line, from the defensive line, from the special teams to all three faces, we have to play together. We have not played together this year yet. And that's just something that, we want to preach about it every day. Every day we got to do better, and we're doing that, but it has to show up on Sundays. It hasn't showed up yet, but it got to show up next week.
That sound could have ended with just "we ass." That would have been sufficient. But let's play Callahan getting testy here. You can imagine that they don't have much hope this season.
Do you think this is a resilient and relentless football team?
I know what you're doing there, Paul. I know what you're doing, and I'm not going to answer that right now.
Well, I mean, those are the themes that you've tried to cover.
Yeah,
this football team, you're 20-some games in.
Yeah.
You're stuck.
I'm going to just compose myself here before I say something I regret. But, yes, I think this team is resilient. I think it is relentless. We haven't played good enough football, and I think those are two very distinct, different things. We have to execute at a better level. We have to coach better. That's really all I can say.
Put it on the poll, please, Juju. Did you know what Paul was doing there? Because Callahan is accusing Paul of something that none of us are accusing.
I was very insecure.
I can tell you. I know Paul Kaharski very well. Shout out, Paul. Paul is every losing coach's nightmare. He's in their dreams. He's in their pillow. He's in their bed. He's in their car. Paul is relentless. Now, look, he's in a market, and Paul's from actually the New York area. But he's in a market in Nashville that you're not dealing with aggressive media. You're dealing with a lot of really good guys down there, but it's obviously not New York. It's not Philly. But Paul thinks it is, and he goes hard. And he just asks questions that sometimes, like, I've been in those press rooms with him, and I'm like, oh, my God, Paul, no. But he does it, and he goes hard. So I think Brian there was going, like, Paul was trying to get Brian to be like, we've got nothing. Like, we have no hope. I have no hope. We stink. I should lose my job. Like, he was trying to set him up. I think we can all put that together. I don't think it was that deep of a comment from Callahan, knowing Paul so well. So, look, I think the situation there is, let's start with Cam Ward, okay? How sick of this does he sound already? And he's only a rookie in Nashville for just a few weeks here playing with this team. That to me is the biggest problem, because if what he's around right now is going to ruin him, then just shame on Tennessee, because they've got this gift. They've got the guy. He can play. He's talented. Everything I've heard about him, from what he's like behind the scenes, on the field, as a teammate, they've got the thing that every organization wants. Now they need to go and find ways to put the right people around him. And for whatever reason it is, and it feels like it goes back to when they traded A.J. Brown, 5 years ago, like a little less than that. Like, that's where it all started. It's like from that trade from A.J. Brown to Philadelphia, it just seems that was the thing that has now taken this team off the tracks. So I don't look, it's not going to get any better. There's no way, because they don't have the right people there. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how they do this, right? Because you've got Brian Callahan. He's the head coach. You've got his father, who is the offensive line coach. So if you fire Brian Callahan, do you have to fire his father? And then does the team then have to go find two coaches? Like, I just think there's a lot of dynamics at play there.
I know what you're doing there, Paul.
Put it on the poll. Do you have to fire several generations of Callahans if you're the Titans? And also put on the poll, is Paul Kaharski every losing coach's worst nightmare?
I'm with Dianna on Cam Ward, but obviously I'm biased. But let me play devil's advocate here. Through their first 4 career NFL starts, Cam Ward has 2 touchdown passes, which is just unbelievable to me. 2 interceptions, 614 passing yards, and just a 51% completion percentage with an 0-4 record. Will Levis, much maligned, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 857 yards passing, 61% completion percentage, and he did get a win in his first 4 starts. So a lot of people are looking at that, and if you just see the numbers, some of this does fall back on Cam Ward. It is fair to say that Cam Ward probably needs to deprogram himself from thinking he's got the Miami offensive line and maybe tap back into that Wazoo Cam Ward that we saw 2 years ago.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be interested to see just what direction they go in. And I don't want to go too inside baseball on the Titans right now, but it's like, you've got Mike Bergonzi, the general manager there. He's got connections to Kansas City. Kansas City has some great coaches there. You got Steve Spagnuolo, obviously. You have Matt Nagy, who's a good play caller. That's usually how you put these things together. It's like, who knows who? So, look, this will be a gift for any offensive-minded head coach to be able to go to Nashville. By the way, Nashville is one of those jobs, I'll tell you, coaches that are looking to be head coaches, they always ask about that gig because that is the dream job in terms of the city, the like everything about it.
You ever been to Broadway? It's so much fun.
They're getting a new stadium soon.
Yeah, the new and that, by the way, that's another factor in this. They want to get butts in the seats, and the way they're playing, that's not going to help them. That's not something ownership can be happy with.
Jackson Dart, what you got?
I mean, energizing. I look, he wasn't spectacular on Sunday from what we saw, but I think he gives this team a chance, and he certainly saved Brian Dable for right now. He definitely calmed everyone down in New York. Forget Jackson Dart, though. It's the defense to me. They've got absolute monsters, and it was the first time I saw them all together because we've all been wondering, where are they? Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns. I'm missing more, but still, just the fact that they were so good up there, the fact that the defense is alive is going to keep the New York Giants alive, I believe.
Dianna, did the Cowboys win the tie?
No, I mean, no, it's a tie. There's no winning.
Are the Bengals done?
Yes, the Bengals are done. I am. It is not good, and I don't see it getting any better. I'm curious to see if they're going to make a move at the quarterback position because I think we see it's not working.
Atlanta was fun to watch for the first time all season. Did Zach Robinson figure it out, or did they just play the Commanders at the right time?
I think Zach Robinson figured it out. I think this is exactly what we've been waiting for, and finally you have these talented players playing at the level that they should. So I think good news for the Atlanta Falcons. I think we're going to see it again.
Do the Ravens make the playoffs?
No. If Lamar Jackson is not healthy, this team cannot go. Their defense is not good enough. They've got too many injuries. And with Lamar hurt and him not being able to be athletic and able to create plays that make us all kind of go in shock, I just don't think this Ravens offense can go.
Are the Bills undefeated as an illusion?
No. I think they're one of the best teams. They are the best AFC team right now. I think it's between them and the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they're that good.
Then why are you texting me that Pat's Bills is must watch?
Oh, because I think that this New England Patriots team actually has a real chance to compete with the Bills. I'm not calling the upset. I just think based on where Drake May is and the Patriots building towards something that they are trying to build there, I think the Patriots can give the Bills a hard time.
Once Rashee Rice returns, are the Chiefs going to be all the way back?
Yeah. But wouldn't you say they're back now? I mean, and they only got half the duo back. So, and they've been saying this for months. They're like, if we just get one of our guys back, we'll be all right. And look who's all right.
Do you agree with Mina Kimes that Puka Nacua is the best player in football?
No.
Can you guys look up for me how many touchdowns Puka Nacua has, please? He doesn't score very much, does he? Like in his
why'd you say that?
Because he's got a bunch of catches and every like they target him so much, and he's got 100 yards in every game, and it's not stoppable. Like they're going to throw to him 12 times a game, and they're going to complete it 12 times.
He's got one rushing, one receiving.
But this season, I'm not talking about this season. Career-wise, how many touchdowns does he have?
10.
I don't think just 10, huh? Yeah, he doesn't score all that much. Thank you. Appreciate the time, Dianna. Appreciate the work as well. Senior NFL insider for The Athletic and the host of the Scoop City podcast. We will talk to you next week. Always good seeing you.
Thanks, guys. God bless.
I can't believe her priest bullied her like that. I thought she would have her own decisions to make on her wedding day, and instead her priest is demanding an immediate marriage. I am told that we have another gas bag of the week. Don LaGreca of what happened, Billy? Why are you making faces behind the mustache?
No, I was just marveling at how many rushing touchdowns Puka has in his career. It's 2. Very positive. Yeah, 12 total.
Okay, so
the positivity is only
Zaz
for
can
on
confirm,
the
yeah.
Modest,
that's what you're talking about.
Stats.
Okay, so you were positive on the air, but the face behind the mustache was negative regardless.
I'm not going to put your business out there, but
Don,
it seemed like you weren't super positive.
What do you mean? No.
Seems like you were dismissing something.
No, Zaz can have my back on this situation.
I am the wrong messenger for what he told me, so I'm going to confirm what Billy said.
Why is that?
No. You don't get to put this on me. You're the one who said the thing.
I was just asking a question.
Because I can say it.
Say
and
what?
you won't like what I say.
That's not true.
So let's not.
I love
put this-
everything you say.
Let's
What's
not put
happening
this
here?
comment on me.
All right.
I'm not certain.
Tell
Your
the
comment.
share with the rest of the class. What's
now,
happening
now
here?
we're here. Now we're here, and it's not something he's got to be positive on air. If he was positive,
I'm
off
positive
air,
all the time.
In your headset, though, that you got to be positive there too.
I
You
was
can't
positive.
Be negative in someone's headset
Well, he's
while
being
we're
a
on the
producer.
air.
I gotta say the energy did shift a little.
I was defending Diana and the situation she was in.
See, you made a tactical error by throwing this on me.
How so?
Because I could say what you said, and I don't think you would look very good.
What do you mean?
but now we
How
got
so?
What do I mean?
Now
I just said what I mean.
I just
You
said
don't, you don't get to
Puka-
disagree
I
with what I
said-
say and then say, what do you mean?
I said Puka has
said
two,
what I mean.
2 rushing touchdowns in his career.
Yeah. Okay. If you believe that, Dan.
Well, I don't believe it. I clearly don't believe
we've
it.
established he's not gonna snitch. You know why, Zaz?
I know what happens to snitches. Get hurt.
Do you give Zaz immunity for what he might
can,
say?
He can say whatever
Nope,
it is
I am not
that
the right
you said.
messenger. I will not say it. Nope. Nope.
Okay, but this is not working, and I don't know.
I'm not of the right background to say it.
Okay.
Well, now you're making it sound really bad.
Minor penalty, 2 minutes, delay of show.
You take your jail time if you don't want to snitch because you just.
He's a good friend.
He made the right call.
That's a
actually.
good friend. He's taking the jail time.
Okay, it's good.
Jail time for him. I could say what it was. I said Puka's got 2 rushing touchdowns for his career.
I heard that as a positive.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I'm like, 2 touchdowns.
He's not even
That's
a
great.
running back. I'm celebrating. I guess he thinks that he
Minor
can't
penalty,
say it
2 minutes,
because
dumpster juice take.
You out of the room as well, Billy. Get out of here. Gas bag of the week. The beloved Don LaGreca, who tends to lose his mind, has some commentary on what happened, Chris.
No, I'm just going to give you context here. He's mad at Mets fans because the Mets blow it, and they're mad at the Marlins for celebrating too much for eliminating them. They're mad at the rules for tiebreakers. They're mad at they're trying to blame everyone else, and Don LaGreca's not having it, and he is our
gas bag of the week.
They have the lowest payroll in baseball. You don't think that's a chance for a team like the Marlins to flex? They are worthless. The players know it. They've got no chance to win. They've got literally the lowest payroll in baseball. They've been handed a gift of relevancy on the final weekend. You don't think they're going to relish the chance to beat the team that's got the second highest payroll in baseball? Give me a break. You don't have a chance to complain when you blow it the way they did. You take it. You take it. You get smacked in the face, you take it. You don't defend yourself. This team is not worth defending. We're a worthless piece of garbage organization right now. Hopefully we'll get up from it. Hopefully they'll make the right decisions. But stop complaining about the Marlins. Stop complaining about the Reds. Stop thinking you're better than you actually are. Stop worrying about the Yankees and worry about yourself. Own the town, my ass. How about owning a above 500 record and making the playoffs with the second highest payroll in baseball? Look in the mirror. The words Yankees or Marlins or baseball or Manfred or anything coming out of your mouth other than we suck, I don't want to hear it. So shut your mouth.
Put it on the poll, please, Juju. Does Don LaGreca look like a divorced Santa drinking too much at the bowling alley bar?
Own the town, my ass!
Yeah, he gets really upset, and he called the Marlins worthless. And that is now 3 Mets seasons that the Marlins have ended. The commissioner's office is doing that on purpose with the scheduling, right? Because
Keep doing it.
They have to be. It's incredible. 3 straight. I just can't stop thinking about the Mets fans that came down here to watch both the Mets and the Jets. And they watched the Mets blow it on Sunday, and then the Jets lose to the Dolphins. It's amazing.
Own the town, my ass.
Looks like Kenny Rogers.
I mean, Kenny Rogers has been sucking a tire pump.
Look in the mirror.
Don't talk to me that way, LaGreca.
I'm a little worried that Arkansas got raptured. I mean, there's like really nobody here. God does love the SEC more.
Hey Dan, it's me, Lucy, and we are here at beautiful Fayetteville, Arkansas. This is a lovely town. Dixon Street is awesome. Arkansas fans, they are very kind people. The football here is terrible. It's awful, and it's so bad. And their fans, they're very sad. And I gotta say, one game of this, I'm pretty sad too.
How would you describe being an Arkansas fan?
Disappointing.
It's tough at times.
Waking up on Saturdays to my dad screaming, yelling at the TV.
We're the bottom pit of the SEC. Oh, heartbreaking at times. Well, most of the time, heartbreaking.
We call them the Heartbreak Hogs for a reason. It's always a big disappointment, but it's still fun. We get our hopes up every year.
Why does it never work out?
I blame Bobby Petrino. It's all Bobby Petrino's fault.
It's literally all Bobby Petrino's fault. Are you guys the unluckiest athletic department, athletics in all of college sports?
Oh, hands down. Hands down. We're cursed. You know, they say you can have some good friends that'll leave you. You'll have some girls that'll leave you, but your team will never leave you. So they're always there.
This team might actually leave you. Oh my God, Pork chop. Sorry. He's talking to a kid now, but I would like to talk to him. Woo Pig, love you, buddy. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to hand you the mic because this is your segment. This is your moment. This really isn't even about
I think you're right, yeah. We got a free people sign. The people want to hear from people. The Canes are like 4-0. The fans want to know what people has to say right now. So, like, bring people back, please. Free people.
I can tell you Billy's going to hate this so much.
I'm speaking for the fans here.
Yeah,
we want to know. We want to know where people's going. What he's thinking right now.
You speak for the fans. I speak for Billy. Billy says no. If you guys got to pick Arkansas's head coach, who do you want and who do you think it'll be?
I think John Gruden will be the coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks.
John Gruden?
Yeah.
What?
John Gruden.
Everyone is saying that. Everyone has given that answer. That's mental illness.
Probably Nick Saban.
Yeah, that would be my top choice too. You think he's coming back to go coach Arkansas specifically?
Oh yeah. When I hit the Powerball and I just have unlimited amount of money, I'm going to throw him probably about $150 million to come be our coach.
I love that. All right, so everyone go buy lottery tickets and get Nick Saban down here to Fayetteville.
I'm not a rookie here. I've bought some college football tickets in my time, but I've already used code Dan. So here,
Lucy.
Use code Lucy?
Lucy for $20 off your first order.
Okay.
Terms apply.
So I used code Dan. Now this is great. Now I can actually use it again. I just got to get another fake burner email. But the heady play here is you get the wife to download Game Time and then use code Lucy if you've already used it. That's how we got $20 off, and here we are.
So the vibes here, I got to be honest, they're off. People don't really seem to be drinking that much, which like is Arkansas, it's the SEC. I was not expecting that. Truly, this is like a defeated fan base, and it's honestly kind of sad. But I do love all the pig stuff. I think that's really cool. What was your reaction to your first time hearing them call the Hogs?
Wild. My dad, when he came here for orientation, said he needed a few more drinks.
Freaky in the best way.
I've been trying to find out what actually Woo Pig Suey means.
Suey is a hog call. So because Arkansas is a farming state, there are a lot of hogs here. By the way, wild boars, terrifying animals, and we're very scared of them. Yeah. So when you're at a farm and you need your hogs to come, and you go, Suey!
Oh,
Suey,
really?
Suey, Suey, Suey! And you get the hogs to come.
Wait, let's do that again.
Suey! Suey, Suey, Suey! Pigs. Will is potentially the biggest show fan we've ever met. So we would
I'm going to be the nuttiest fan this
week? We would like to declare you
goodness.
the Hampton Farms nuttiest fan.
Nuttiest fan of the week. Wow.
And we got you my
honor.
favorite flavor, which is spicy dill pickle.
Pickle. I saw him eating this one. This is going to be a fan favorite, I think.
That is the best one. Today's trip and today's Woo Pig Suey was brought to you by Hampton Farms. Get nutty with Hampton Farms, the official snack nut of the tailgate.
Go Hogs.
this is Sam Pittman's last year?
I've heard rumors. We don't win today. I think he's out.
Yeah, probably so. I hope so. Personally, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do. Maybe his last game.
I think he retires. I don't think he quit or we fire him. I think he retires.
I don't know. I'd have to ask my dad, then come back to you.
Okay, yes, we got to get your dad on the phone, and he'll tell you he's done with Sam Pittman.
Notre Dame wiped the floor with Arkansas. You knew Arkansas was in big trouble when Notre Dame is doing 4th and 9 from its own 20-yard line, a double reverse fake punt with a pass from its own 20-yard line because they had no fear of anything Arkansas was doing. Lucy Rodin joins us now. How was the experience? You look beaten down from the experience. You look like a little sad while you're watching that video.
Fayetteville, lovely. Like one of my favorite towns we've gone to. Dixon Street is really cool. The fans were really nice. But it was the first time, well, this is our first off-roading firing, so that's kind of a big deal for us. Congratulations, team. But this was the first time we went to a game where, like, it was just the fans were apathetic. They were there just to, like, be there, but clearly, like, the vibes are off. That's probably one of the worst defenses I've ever seen. It was just, like, all around. That's a fan base, too, that I think you need the context of, like, they have gone through hell and back in every single sport. Like, everything goes wrong for them in the most ridiculous way ever. So to break Arkansas fans, that has to be, like, rock bottom. And I was not expecting for them to fire Sam Pittman after this game just because he had a really weird contract. But I'm glad they're trying Bobby Petrino again. I'm sure that's going to work out really well.
This allows us to put on the screen your Bobby Petrino costume and my Bobby Petrino costume. Do you want to talk some Bobby Petrino? Because it's just lovely that Bobby Petrino would be back after, ruining the entirety of his reputation and career while wrecking on a motorcycle.
It's like, it's one of those things where, like I said earlier, things just go wrong for Arkansas. Everything is bad. And then occasionally you just look around and that's kind of your fault, right? Like, this is a choice you made. Like, you're going back to Bobby Petrino after everything that has happened is like the most Arkansas shit ever. And so he's interim coach right now. He has made it very clear that he's like, I want this full time. Like, this is where I want to be. I want to be the head coach of Arkansas again. And Arkansas, what was so fascinating about going to Fayetteville was seeing how much money there is in Northwest Arkansas. Like, that is a very, very wealthy area. And Arkansas is a school that should be like Texas Tech. They should be just like mopping it up in NIL with Walmart there, with Tyson Chicken there, with JB Hunt there. Like, they should be a very, very like wealthy athletics department, and it just isn't happening. So I don't know who they go out and hire. I don't know who they get for that job when the money isn't there, even though it should be. So it does feel like Bobby Petrino is the next head coach at Arkansas. And will it be good? Probably not. Will it be awesomely entertaining? Absolutely.
Gruden would fit there.
Vibes-wise, yes. He's got the calling the hogs vibe, but it's just like, Arkansas, what are we doing? Like, what I think Arkansas should do is know that, okay, SEC-wise, you're kind of low. Maybe you could get some extra money. You were able to get the extra money to fire Sam Pittman. You got to try to find that next young guy. Like, you don't want to do what they're doing at UNC with Bill Belichick. You don't want to go back to Bobby Petrino. Like, you need to just go take a chance right now because, like, you have no other shot of succeeding.
Lucy, how do you think the brass at Penn State feel about James Franklin?
Let me give some of these numbers, by the way. James Franklin, 1-15 against top 5 opponents, 4-21 against top 10 opponents, 15-30 against top 25 opponents, 4-17 against Michigan and Ohio State.
Yeah, so after that loss, me just in my like full sicko brain, I immediately went to watch his post-game press conference. I was like, I gotta watch this. And it was sad. Like, one of the things that I'll give James Franklin, he's very self-aware. Like, someone asked him a question of like, okay, so this ranked team thing, it keeps happening, you keep losing. And he's like, I understand that narrative. And at this point, it's not a narrative, it's factual. Like, it's right in front of you. If I'm a Penn State fan, I'm frustrated because this is the best roster that you have had in a long time. And the big thing with Penn State was, okay, we are going to go and do the one thing we're supposed to do. We're going to go to the portal and get wide receivers because that was the issue. And they did that. They got 3 really good wide receivers out of the portal. They went and spent all that money on Jim Knowles. Like, this was supposed to be the all or nothing year. And then you have James Franklin punting from the Oregon 36. You can't be all or nothing in the offseason. And then in game, James Franklin is like, let's just hope for the best. Like, clearly there's going to be an insane level of frustration, but I don't think they're going to move on from James Franklin because, like, who do you get? Like, he is such a good coach, except for in the game. He just can't do that, which is, like, bad, but it's good. And so you're just, like, living your life as it is right now, where Penn State will win a lot of games this year. They are a very good football team, but you look at, like, what is happening with Oregon, and Dan Lanning lives his life. Like, I don't even know if they got a punter on that roster the way he's calling fourth downs. Like, Penn State needs a little bit of that. Like, they need some urgency. I just feel like James Franklin doesn't know what's going on during the game.
Did you watch Dan Lanning immediately following the game? Is he okay?
Yeah, there are rumors going around that I won't acknowledge. I have been to a Penn State whiteout game. That energy is insane, and I think he was just really, really hyped up on that energy and maybe not anything else. Yeah. I'm not going to make any assumptions.
It was a whiteout for sure.
It was a whiteout. It was definitely a whiteout.
Rumors. It sounds like you guys just did the rumors. You
don't
made
do that.
Don't take it there, Dan.
I mean, nobody. He did that a lot.
Whisper it in Zaz's ear, and then he'll say it.
Darren Waller is going to join us here in about 10 minutes, fresh off his first 2-touchdown game in 5 years.
I think it's cocaine.
The last time
What?
Whoa!
The last time Darren Waller had 2 touchdowns was also against the Jets. He'll be joining us in a little bit. Let's get to LSU losing to Ole Miss. LSU.
Billy hates priests.
Wow, you turned on him finally.
Whatever.
I'm proud of you.
God. Tired of this. Can't hold it in for that long. Whatever. What am I protecting him for anyway?
You went to jail for him.
What am I protecting him for? You're right. I spent my time thinking about what I did, and I realized, why am I protecting him?
LSU cannot run the ball. Let's check in with Brian Kelly when he was all defensive about being asked about the fact that, among other things, his team can't run the ball.
What are you seeing with your offense?
Stop. Really? Is that the first question? We won the game 20-10. Try another question. What do you want me to tell you? I just laid it out for you. We played the game to win the game. We played the game to win the game.
All right. How about third down then? What is going on with third down?
It's one game. Last game, we were great on third down. You're looking at this from the wrong perspective. LSU won the football game. Won the game. I don't know what you want from me. What do you want? You want us to win 70-0 against Florida to keep you happy?
No, I think people want to know why you can't run the ball, quite honestly.
We can run the ball. Did you see the last play of the game? That's all you need. You just need one. There's a ridiculous questions. And I'm getting tired of it. That football team just worked their tail off to get an SEC win, and you want to know what's wrong. You know what? You're spoiled. You're spoiled. This team is 17-1 at night. 17-1. Give them some respect. How about that? Give them some respect instead of micro-analyzing every little thing. This is ridiculous. For a group of seasoned reporters, that kind of question is so out of line.
Was that Paul Kaharski? Was he badgering poor Brian Kelly? They can't run the ball, and Ole Miss dragged them, Lucy.
Well, did you see that Mike Elko started his press conference off that way? He was like, do you guys want to talk about how we're not good at this? Like, he was clearly making fun of Brian Kelly, which I love Mike Elko. He's so fun. Yeah, they can't run the ball. They literally can't do it. And because they can't run the ball, Garrett Nussmeier is, like, lost in space. And so you have this offense that is so one-dimensional that it becomes, like, zero-dimensional. They can't do anything because, like, you're not afraid of LSU. It's weird because it's a complete reverse of, like, what we've seen in previous LSU Brian Kelly teams of, like, their defense is what's keeping them around. They're, like, really getting close to Iowa territory here of, like, no matter how good your defense is, if your offense cannot stay on the field, like, your defense is going to get tired, and this is just going to be, like, the existence you live, where I know Caden Durham didn't play this game, but, like, you have to be able to run the ball. They can't. Ole Miss, on the other hand, that is a good football team. What a problem to have where you go get this D2 transfer who has just, like, changed your entire world, and now Austin Simmons is just, like, we got to stay with the hot hand, so it's going to be Trinidad Chambliss, and they are a really good football team. And with Georgia losing to Alabama this weekend, we don't really know like sort of what the SEC is looking like right now. There's no front runner. Ole Miss is in an amazing position. Like, they are in such a good spot, which we did not see coming with how much that team lost from last season.
Give me a better college football name than Trinidad Chambliss. Just one off the top of your head, just a name.
Oh, shoot. There's a lot of good ones. I can't think of them right now. There's an all-name team that none of the names are coming back to me.
ACC is blank.
Oh, it's Miami's to lose right now. Like, that's what it is. It's a conference where I know Georgia Tech won this week, but they went and they just completely first half shit the bed against Wake Forest. Like, they were useless. It took Haynes King doing Haynes King things again to bring them back to life. You have Florida State losing on the road at Virginia, which, by the way, that was the fastest field storm I've ever seen. Like, they didn't.
There was no jump.
Yeah,
they just went straight forward into the field.
It was so, like, I love a field storm. I don't want to pretend that I'm not a person who doesn't.
That
was
one scared
scary
me. Thank you.
Because it went so fast. It just, like, happened. And nobody was off the field. Like, that was terrifying. It happened so quickly.
Mike had it right when he said World War Z. It's when the zombies are that fast. It's terrifying when the zombies are fast.
And, like, I think what was just so remarkable is, like, they didn't even try to stop. I don't see a security guard in sight. Like, they knew it was going to happen, but, like, normally you have, like, at least, like, a 30-second buffer. That was crazy. It was so scary.
Joseph Manjack IV, a white wide receiver from TCU who doesn't wear gloves.
No gloves.
That's good.
Oh.
Really good.
Give me some music here for Lucy's Internet Minute to close out the segment here. She's at Notre Dame this weekend, fighting Irish, Boise State. Give us an Internet Minute here to keep me and Cody younger than we actually are.
So, unfortunately, the internet was not as strong this week as it was last week. The Rapture really was, like, just a great way to start. I haven't heard from any of the non-Raptures, but I do have some pretty sad news. I hate to break this to our show audience, to you all. Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman have separated. That came out. That was shocking. They have been together for 19 years. No one really knows what happened. Keith's side said he initiated it. Nicole's side said that she was trying to make it work, and they need to fly all the AMC flags at half-staff today, or half-mast. I don't know why I couldn't say that. That's my internet minute.
Billy, your
I
thoughts?
think that was like 20 seconds.
I saw that this morning, and I was really sad about the fact that, they were together for such a long time. And now that it's over. Also, Nashville's like a really weird place, right? Where like you could just go to the grocery store and Nicole Kidman is there.
Yeah. It's a weird. I've never been to Nashville, but it doesn't seem like a city I would like. I'm just going to say that. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's lovely.
It is lovely.
It's a great city.
Nashville rules.
Ask me about it tomorrow, but today it's lovely.
We found a Rice player named Mobility.
That's pretty
That's
good.
as good as it gets.
Don't believe you.
That's pretty
No,
good.
we looked. We
M-O-H?
M-O-H Bility.
19 years in, right? That's what they were together for, married for, Lucy?
And think about what she went through with Tom Cruise. So you're like, no, Nicole, you deserve love more than anybody. So it was very shocking. But let me remind you, separated is not divorce. I know divorce. My parents are divorced, and they were never separated. They were just straight up divorced.
Straight
so
to
they
it,
could
huh?
still get back together.
We will talk to you next week. Thank you, Lucy. Appreciate the insight.
After that amount of time, I think I wouldn't give up. I'd just be like, this is what it is.
I think after
Exactly.
that amount of time, you know that it's over.
I think you're just like, it's just.
I don't know.
Let's get to the
I'll
end
just tell
together.
you, I can tell you confidently, my parents are not getting back together.
Oh.
But Nicole and Keith might.
News break.
I have one more nerdy football question for Lucy. The SEC is basically the ACC with bigger budgets and a better publicist, because that was an ACC-ass weekend for the SEC too. Everybody that they tell you is good, all of a sudden, one weekend passes, you have all sorts of questions about. I've been really liking what I'm seeing from Mizzou. Does Mizzou have what it takes to really surprise? Ahmad Ardi is an incredible running back.
They have an easy schedule, like by SEC standards. I think what is so interesting about Mizzou is if you look at what happened to Penn State this weekend, had they had Bo Pribula, I think that game would have gone differently. Like, Drew Aller kept them in at parts, took them out. Like, Bo might have been the better quarterback out of the two of them. He's so dynamic, he can run. They're an Eli Drinkowicz team. They're going to have a real fun offense, and they're really not playing anybody this season. Like, Mizzou is very much still in the fold, but the SEC is you're right, it's very ACC, it's very Big 12. Like, it's all over the place, and I think we just keep telling ourselves that it's so great because, like, that's what we've always been told. We're like, I think it's very clear right now the Big Ten is the best conference in college football.
One more
And not 'cause Iowa's in it.
nerdy football question before we get to Darren Waller. Give me the stat of the day music here quickly, Chris Cody, before I get to it and before I ask Lucy about Georgia's quarterback situation.
Start of the day, start of the day. This year, start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. This year, start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. This year, start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. This year, start of the day.
Mike Ryan was blaming Georgia's quarterback situation and Kirby Smart for not staying with Carson Beck. But the 13 third downs that Alabama converted against Georgia is the most any team has converted against Georgia in more than 30 years. Do you agree with Mike Ryan that there are 6, 7, or 8 better quarterback situations just in the SEC than Georgia's quarterback situation?
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. Just like off the top, like Lenora Sellers, Ole Miss probably has 2 quarterbacks better than what Georgia has right now. I think you saw a little bit in this game of kind of what Carson Beck dealt with last year, like drop passes. I think Georgia's real issue is their secondary. Like Alabama was cooking them through the air. When you're throwing a bubble screen to a 350-pound offensive lineman, you're just in hell. That's just what's happening.
We will talk to you next week, Lucy.
That is a really good wide receiver room that they got in Alabama. They got 3 excellent dudes out there. That's like Washington Husky wide receivers. So I guess Kalen DeBoer can recruit wide receivers a little bit.
Thank you, Lucy.
And they're throwing to offensive linemen. We cannot forget that they're doing that. That's insane.
Do you hate Caden Proctor?
No. I wish him the best.
It was a screen pass. I can count on a 350-pound person to catch a screen pass, and then it was great fun watching. Do you know how odd it is to watch Georgia's defenders specifically look like 6th graders trying to attach themselves to somebody? I mean, was that?
It was so funny. There's nothing you can do.
No, what are you going to do? He just leaned forward, and everyone kept bouncing off of him.
And he was athletic with it. It was just crazy. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. Ryan Grubb's back in his bag. I'm excited.
Again, the person catching the ball was 150 pounds heavier than everyone trying to tackle him.
And they spent so much of the broadcast being and that's the skinniest he's ever been. He finally dropped down to this weight.
Thank you, Lucy. Appreciate it.
Bye, y'all.
So Greg Cody was very comfortable earlier in the show calling someone a nerd, and Rex Ryan called Mike McDaniel nerd boy. Rex Ryan is publicly, as an announcer, meaner than most. I don't think he's in a position specifically.
He is. He seems mean, right?
He is mean, but him calling someone else a nerd as if he gets to be the cool one when he's got a van full of pizza boxes, fake teeth, and a foot fetish. You get to be the cool one? Let's hear Rex Ryan here talking about Shedeur Sanders and being mean.
Stefanski is one of an outstanding coach, all right? But why the hell isn't he putting Shedeur Sanders? We're all waiting to see this Shedeur Sanders be the guy or Gabriel, whatever. Something's missing. Something's missing with this kid. This kid talks. He runs his mouth like I could be a starting quarterback with his arms crossed like this. Get your ass in the front row and study and do all that. If I know, the whole league knows. Quit being an embarrassment that way. You got the talent to be the quarterback. You should be. You should be embarrassed that you're not the quarterback now.
Him saying someone else runs their mouth.
Really put his foot in his mouth there, huh?
I mean, he is paid to do it here.
He is, but I'm going to go ahead and defer. I understand we all have our opinions, but I'm assuming Flacco's the starter because the coach is seeing things that we're not seeing. He's got more invested in this need for winning than the rest of us. My guess is that the young quarterbacks aren't ready.
I mean, maybe Shedeur does sit in the front of the film room. How does he know?
I mean, Dianna Russini's been on this show talking about why Shedeur Sanders is where he is on that depth chart. There's so many mistakes, so many things he did wrong in college that they're still trying to repair and get right. But I don't think it's a criticism to call somebody a nerd or nerdy. I think that's a compliment. I think in the context of NFL coaches, okay, it's a scale, right? Up here on the macho end of the scale, you have the Dan Campbells, you have the Mike Tomlins. Down here, you have the Mike McDaniels and the Liam Cohens. Visually, just visually, they are nerdy, okay? If you take that as a criticism, that's on you, not me.
What are you doing to Liam Cohen?
I think he's nerdy.
He's like a big guy.
I don't care size. I mean, visually.
They're doing great for what they're working with.
You think it's a compliment when Rex Ryan calls Mike McDaniel nerd boy?
Yes, because nerdy conveys intelligence. The nerd is the math whiz, the science whiz. If you're called nerdy in high school, you know what? It's the football player, the thick-necked football star calling you nerdy because he's jealous of your intelligence. When I call Mike McDaniel nerdy, look, he's nerdy visually, but he's got a mind.
Speaking of thick necks, we've got Darren Waller on, and I was telling you when the Dolphins signed Darren Waller that what I saw from him from the Raiders was someone who was unstoppable. It was really nice. It was a really nice story last night to see Darren Waller catch 2 touchdown passes. A man that size catching that pass on 4th down in the back of the end zone. That was a great pass and a great play all around. I want to welcome Darren Waller to the show. Congratulations on last night, Darren. You also recovered the onside kick at the end. I'm wondering, given what your journey has been the last few years, my guess is that you felt some pretty seismic joy at being able to contribute like that your first game out for the Dolphins.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I felt like I was on drugs most of the night. It was kind of crazy. But, yeah, definitely a lot of joy, man. Like I've always been talking about getting back to the joy that I felt like when I was a kid, like the pure joy, getting away from like the numbers, the stats, just like being present to the moment and enjoying the game in the moment. And that couldn't ask for more. His first game back is crazy.
Can you condense for us your journey over the last 5 years? Because it was a really nice story to see you go from, in New York, it sounded like you had lost some of your love for football. You left football, and now you've returned to football this way. Take us through your feelings and the articulation of what the last 5 years have been like for you.
Yeah, last 5 years, 2020 was the year where I had over 100 catches and made the Pro Bowl. So that was like peak career. And then 2021 was when the injuries started happening. 22 was hit by injuries. 23 was hit by injuries. Still productive years for when I was on the field, but the injuries were really holding me back. And that was kind of frustrating me. Life was just frustrating me. I feel like I needed to step away. And I feel like my higher power was leading me in a different direction. And I feel like going in that direction allowed me to come back to appreciate football, just a cleaner vessel, you know what I'm saying? And, just still having something to provide, just still trying to be a teammate that, guys can look over to me and know that they can count on me to make something happen, whatever my role is at any given time. So, yeah, it's just crazy to be here. And getting into camp, like, first 2 weeks of training, after I signed with the Dolphins, I blew my quad out, damn near tore my quad from my hip. So it was like, what is going on? Not trying to piece together, like, what this journey is supposed to be and not having the answers in the moment, but having a night like last night, just battling through the rehab and the humbling of just watching guys go through camp and not being able to be out there. It was just a crazy journey, man. It's been so many journeys in my life like that.
If you had to choose a reason that you left football, would it have been physical pain or mental pain? Which was more responsible for making you leave?
It was more mental and emotional. Physical definitely contribute to it because it was just frustrating. I couldn't really feel like I could find answers, I guess. And maybe the mental and the emotional contributed to it, but it was like I found myself still at the same spot. Like, when I was out the league for all the drugs and drinking I was doing, it was like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I feel like my life looks great on paper, but I don't know what I'm doing. And I felt that same feeling in 2023. And I was like, I need to, go into another chapter of reinventing myself and healing and growing. Like, if football's really meant for me, which I didn't think it was, like I thought I was done for real. And, but it opened the pathway, like I said, for my higher power to lead me back into this when I wasn't even necessarily looking for it. It just kind of happened organically. So, but yeah, to answer your question, it was definitely more internal.
You've been very open talking about the darkness that you were feeling. What are you comfortable sharing on the drinking and drugging and what kind of coping you were doing there to self-medicate?
Oh yeah, back in the day, man. Yeah. I mean, smoking weed, drinking, Percocet, like painkillers was my number one. Xanax, cocaine, you name it. Anything that can just give you a feeling and allow you to escape whatever the craziness is going on the inside. I wanted to be a part of. So it was a wild journey before getting sober.
The Giants was the experience of not being a 100-catch person anymore, because you really were unstoppable with the Raiders. You were always open. Cornerbacks and those people are too small in the secondary to cover you. Can you take us through specifically how it is you went from 100 catches to losing your love for football? Like, how gradual was that?
I mean, I can even look back to moments in those seasons. Like, I always tell people this story. We played the Jets in 2020. I had a 200-yard game, and the first practice back out on the field on Wednesday, I'm like, damn, I can't drop this passing routes on air when I literally just caught everything that was coming to me. So it's like there's always this internal doubt that I feel like I'm fighting every day, or like this fear that I got to show up and press up against, and just stand firm and be courageous. So yeah, it was just I don't know, man. I feel like if I'm not right internally, mentally, and staying with the practices that help me reinvent my life on multiple occasions, if I drift from those, whatever I'm doing, I'm probably going to lose joy. And I feel like I lost sight of a lot of what makes up my spiritual life and keeps me feeling alive every day in 2023. And I feel like I needed 2024 away from the game, and the journeys through 2025, especially through this recovering from this injury, was a major spiritual test for me as well, just humbling me in a lot of ways, just getting me back to ground level with how much I love football. So yeah, getting away from all the stats, like I said, and the accolades, and just being like, man, what was that joy I had when I was a kid connecting to football, and just trying to stay in that mind state.
Darren, you mentioned after the game last night that of all of the emotions you felt, one of them was a little bit of fear. Where does that fear come from?
I think just being human. I feel like being afraid most of my life. That's why I was coping with the things I was coping with. A lot of times I was just afraid. And, just being out of football for almost 2 calendar years, it's a violent game. It's a fast game. These dudes that are coming in and out of the league, I ain't played against most of them now. I think I'm the oldest dude on my team. And, there's a lot of young dudes. They get faster, stronger. And it's just like, can you keep up? Like, can you still do what you did? Because my prime years that people may know me for was 5-6 years ago. So you can't necessarily rest on that. You got to earn it every day. You got to earn opportunities like last night. So, yeah, I feel like fear is in question. Like, I was sitting in my apartment yesterday before I went to the game. Like, I'm really about to get hit. Like, we're just about to see what happens, and not trying to play everything out in my head and try to make sure things go the right way. It's like I've always been able to adapt. So let me just stay in the moment. My fear always feasts on me either being in the future or being on something in the past.
Darren, what do you make of playing for Mike McDaniel compared to your past coaches?
Mike McDaniel is really kind of blown me away a lot because, we've kind of connected on like having similar journeys. I know he battled with alcohol a lot of his life and was able to find sobriety, and just seeing like the principles and the standard that he preaches every day were the same principles and standards that helped me change my life, and still, I think, helped me find success in football too. Because people think like 100-catch guy, like I'm going into the year thinking I'm gonna get 100 catches. It's really not. Like, I'm just maximizing the moment that's right in front of me. I can't control how many opportunities that necessarily may be. If it is 100, great. If it's 42, it's going to be the best 42 possible, and like staying present, like not even trying to go out there and say, I want to get certain level of results. You think of like Bill Walsh too, like he's one of the greatest coaches of all time. And he had a book called The Scoreboard Takes Care of Itself. So it's just like letting go of results, being focused on the standard, the process about which you go and get those results is something that he stands on and preaches. And I'm like, I never thought I'd hear a coach preaching this over just like, we got to be better, get your fucking ass going. Like, that's what I appreciate about him, and that he stands on that. So it's really been refreshing to be around him.
Given what your journey's been, that first touchdown last night, give me one you've had in your career that felt as good as that one.
Ooh, you might got me stumped there. a game that I feel like I held like in my memory, like when I'm done and looking back as like a grandfather or something one day, it would be we played the Ravens on my birthday in 2021. That was like my first game against Baltimore. That was my former team. And I had a whole bunch of family there, and I had a touchdown in the fourth quarter. And really just that whole game was memorable. But, yeah, that touchdown I don't think anything really compares to that for me.
Did you need the humbling?
Absolutely. I feel like I always need it. I feel like everybody needs it. People that go too long without it, I don't know, man. I can only speak for my own journey. I feel like I definitely need it because I can begin to rest on my laurels and think I got everything figured out when I'm up. And, I feel like being humble gets me back to the things that really matter, that keep me grounded, whether the success is there or not. And, I think I'm always going to need steady doses. I'm not going to like it when I get it, but nights like that, like last night, prove that there's a process and nothing that happens to me or in my life isn't ultimately happening for my good.
What did you miss in 2024?
Man, it's a good question. I definitely missed the locker room camaraderie, like having guys like you could just laugh with, cut up with every day. Because 2024 was like, I had some solid friends around me, but it was a lot of time spent alone, a lot of time spent doing a lot of hard work on the inside of myself. So it was a pretty lonely time, I would say. So that locker room, just joy and just like jumping and just being happy and playing pranks on people and all that stuff. Like I hold that with so much more gratitude now. Just being in the mix, being in football and knowing that I have some gifts that God gave me and being proud of those and being to going through the ups and the downs of that come with having those gifts and saying like, my feet are planted here. I'm approaching this with a whole different perspective. Like I needed to miss it. I feel like most people, we don't appreciate things while we got them. They got to be gone, I guess. So, I would say that.
What else did you realize that you hadn't appreciated enough?
I don't think I appreciated the past versions of myself enough. Like, I never realized how passively critical I was of younger versions of myself, like the younger versions of me that were doing drugs and drinking and getting arrested and being in trouble and stuff like that. But those younger versions of me were just in pain and trying to do the best they could to get through the experiences that he was going through. So I got to show love to that younger version of me from college, from high school, from middle school, really intentionally form that relationship with the younger versions of myself. I wasn't necessarily doing that. I was so self-critical of myself and still can be. So that's like a full-time job of just not trying to beat myself up.
Darren, how bad are the Jets?
Man, the Jets, bro, I kept looking up at the screen. I was like, bro, they got so many rushing yards. Like they were moving the ball, bro. Like they were efficient and, they got talent on defense. They got a great coach leading them. So, I think it's a matter of time. Like they got the leadership in place to, correct some of the things that aren't necessarily going their way, man. So they're a good football team and they fought to the end and they, had chances to win that game and to, go up. That fumble in the beginning, I feel like was huge too, because they were building a lot of momentum. Could have been a different game, but man, it don't matter what happens, bro. I feel like teams can always respond to wherever they're at.
Darren, congratulations. It was really nice seeing that. I was happy for you last night. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you having me.
The stat that I saw was when he speaks of rushing defense, and the reason that I was telling you that they were getting gashed is the Dolphins are allowing almost more than 5 yards per carry.
Yeah, terrible.
There can't be another team in the league allowing 5 yards a carry. You allow 5 yards a carry, you're going to lose most football games.
Yeah, I think part of that is dropping back in coverage though, because your cornerbacks are so bad, and you have 3 cornerbacks injured.
Smart move, Darren Waller's answer there. They play the Jets again.
Yeah.